are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so we are going to spend about another hour going through Letecia's lawsuit, the latest filing, which comes from Kansas Department of Corrections. If you guys haven't been keeping up, make sure to watch the first two. I'll update the playlist after this. It's very interesting because not only do we see what Letecia claimed, but directly with it, we have the responses that she got, and it's just been really interesting. Also, StreamYard is doing something new, so I've never seen this before. It allowed me to upload my file and present it at the bottom. So let's see how this looks, if it's better than sharing the screen. But hello, I've missed you guys. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Bogart. Hey, Neat. Hey, Nancy. Tell the Truth. Preschool Granny. Hey, Warrior Princess. Creative Minds. Tess, good to see you. Hey, Sprinkle Donuts. Kelly, good to see you. I don't even know if I've noticed that. Hi, Jen, Becky, Petunia. So look, can we see better like this? I don't know. I like it. I think I like sharing the screen better because let's do this. We're going to share where we're at, which is this. We can zoom in. Let me know. Do you guys want this or like this? Going through the file as slides like that? Or we're actually at the end of 68, page 68 here, working our way to 69. Or do you want to see it like this? Hold on. Remove. And we can zoom. Oh, Warrior Princess, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sure people with good eyes can see it better. I'm not a good test subject. It's weird, Jen. I can't read it either way. Hey, Carol. I think we're going to do it like this. My lip smacking Amy. I missed you too. I missed all you guys either way. Okay. It's hard for me to see it like this as well. I think we're going to do this one for now, but it's something cool that we can mess around with. You can actually upload your files. You can upload a bunch of different things, files, images, extra cameras, all kinds of stuff like that. They're changing the second. Okay, Jen, thank you. I'm like, wait, I can't see that. Hey, Daniel, it's hard for me to read too. So where we left off, and Jen, if you want to come up, I would read through some of it first. And then if you want to come up, let me know and I'll drop the link because I'd love to hear what you think. I know you've been following too, but I know I have to get through. I only have an hour and I have to get through. We need to get through like a good chunk. So maybe at the end, if you want to, let me know if you're interested. If not, that's okay too. I just like always to hear from you, especially with this. Okay. So Eighth Amendment continued. Now, remember, yesterday we left off. She was claiming she had never tried to escape. She wasn't a risk for something like that. And she never was caught with any tools or maps or anything like that. And I pulled up the letter from the jail file where she literally shows the window and says, already measured the window. It's perfect. She also says over here, partial code talk since they opened my letters. Like there is proof that she has tried to escape. And she's also not happy that she's being housed with violent offenders. And yesterday I had played you guys the video of her on the transport attacking an officer. This video. So this is where we left off, just so you guys know where we're at. And we'll start right back into it. was threatening me. Okay, Letecia, what the hell ever. Okay. So now we got to finish this exhibit. I want to try to get through this quick so we can make time to discuss what we've learned with Jen. And anybody else, like, I'm willing to hear opinions from other people too. Tess, anybody. So let me know. But back to our lawsuit. I think we're on exhibit 4. So she says, Eighth Amendment continued. Prison officials are to provide reasonable safety and must refrain from subjecting them to unnecessary violence, and TCF has actual knowledge of the risk of being around institutional violent inmates. TCF is purposely avoiding knowledge, and it amounts to deliberate indifference. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that I'm looping a little bit, but how does she not think that she should be around violent offenders? I'm not sure. But she goes on and says, the situation is atypical because no prison to which I might be transferred for non-disciplinary reasons is more restrictive. Wait, we have read this part. Okay, no. She says, in fact, the courts have responded with, quote, if the prison was a country club-like atmosphere in which prisoners enjoyed a great deal of time out of their cells, would work as a typical and significant deprivation of their liberty, unquote. TCF is a country club at JCH and Central Compound, which I am qualified for. Based on KDOC classification. She thought she was immediately supposed to get the most freedom, like you don't work your way up, as I do not have disciplinary issues. What? My sending state of Colorado was the same way, as I enjoyed the same freedoms at Denver Women's. However, TCF houses me in atypical situations, and I have significant hardships in relations to the ordinary prison life. This is to include, but not limited to, a substantial burden on religious exercise, mental deterioration, social deterioration, and increase in prior mental health issues due to the reoccurring abuse and being around violent situations when I was not subjected to these in my sending state. Nor was/am I an institutional violent offender or have any behavior concerns at Colorado DOC or Kansas DOC. She was not in prison in Colorado all that long. We do have those reports. The file was kind of small. Remember, that's where they said she was illiterate. She killed her stepson. She's a violent offender and should be in max security. Period. I have composed a comparison chart, oh God, here she goes again, of individuals with similar charges and those on an interstate compact as well, without disciplinary and with disciplinary. The findings include evidence and conclude that this treatment is not rationally related to a legitimate government purpose, and that people I wish to compare to are similarly situated, and there is no difference between the two people, but yet I am treated differently. These issues have led to a serious disruption in everyday prison life as symptoms increase, disturbing my functioning. I was receiving intense treatment in my sending state for trauma, PTSD, acute and severe depression, with risk of thoughts of suicide prior in my sending state, OCD, and manic episodes. In addition, I was receiving help for immediate psychological trauma. TCF has a practice or culture of abuse and neglect of people in need of mental health at the level of regressing and deterioration. So it's a known thing. Prisons, jails, that's not where you're going to get the best mental health care. There are people in there, of course, who want to help these inmates, but you're just not going to get of any medical care. You're not going to get the highest quality in prison. Debbie, thank you for the super sticker. She committed a violent offense against her stepson and assaulted an officer trying to escape. She also, remember, was caught here trying to escape. She is a risk. I don't understand what she's not getting. Also, blaming them for your mental health. No. Wait a minute. When did all these mental health problems come up? In your interview with police, you talk about how you sometimes take anxiety medicine, but not even all the time. TCF will say I'm able to sign up for mental health sick call. However, this is a 20-minute session that does not provide tools or resources. KDOC was negligent in entering into an interstate corrections compact because the required mental health care in her sending state is supposed to be, basically, she has a lot of state case law and stuff listed in state laws, but she's saying that I'm supposed to get the same mental health care I could get there. Now she goes on. Next, I sustained an injury at the hands of staff, and the facility was deliberate in covering up that a staff member did it. There was never a report of the incident written by staff, even when an incident occurred, forcing the staff member to declare a medical emergency. TCF then hid the injury, blaming it on me. I have permanent damage to my right hand as a result. Oh God, I remember the right hand coming up in other filings. I have not received medical care to determine why I lost feeling in one of the fingers and why I still cannot get the swelling to decrease and mobility back even after 10 weeks of recovery. The facility failed to follow its own policy. The facility failed to follow its own policy for reporting an incident, then covered it up, blaming inmates. There is evidence to prove they did it, and was deliberately indifferent to my health and safety. Again, she puts a report number. Then she says, as a result of filing her PREA and all of that, the interstate compact has denied me any programming jobs within my experience and mental health classes. Case law shows that a penal system cannot be operated in such a manner that it impedes the ability of prisoners to attempt their own rehabilitation or simply to avoid physical, mental, and social deterioration. This rises to the level of cruel and unusual and is an atypical situation, as no one on interstate compact is being treated this way without a behavior issue, nor is any male inmate at KDOC in the same situation or being discriminated on. How the hell do you know what's going on with the males? According to the prison's policy, I should be in the least restrictive environment. And according to its classification manual, I should not be discriminated on. I'm curious, these other people that she compares herself to, have they threatened to sue? Sending the letters like this, like we're reading. I can't get over it. Now there's been 2 notebook paper letters that are written out like with a header and title as if it is a lawsuit motion. And she clearly says this isn't really a motion or a lawsuit. It's just like, if things don't get better, this is what I'm going to do. Neat. She definitely knows everything, Carol. It's unbelievable. She's apparently has no access to the law library, but she seems to be like directly quoting stuff from there, which fine. But let's continue. All inmates who may be confined in an institution shall be treated in a reasonable and humane manner and shall be cared for and treated equally with such similar inmates. Then she goes on again. Prison policy. Where prison staff and officials fail to follow their own policy or rules and regulations, there is a clear indication of deliberate and intentional indifference. The language she uses is very intentional. Talk about intentional. Pay attention to like the words that she uses. I asked the prison several times to revoke the ICC, meaning I've been asking to get moved and they're not listening, so now I'm throwing a fit. What's that from White Girls where they're like, bitch fit? She's throwing a fit. The idea behind the ICC is the ability to transfer based upon greater potential of achieving success. I am being detained illegally in the state of Kansas because my civil liberties are being violated. As mentioned in this document, under these state laws, it states that no resident can be removed. The resident can be removed if the resident can no longer be housed safely. If the resident presence in the prison presents a threat to the operation of the facility and other compelling reasons. She says, 1, I'm no longer safe in Kansas. A, due to the civil liberties violations, the statute of liberty violations, and the denial of constitutional rights as mentioned. 2, residents' presence presents presents a threat to KDOC. A, the facility has wrongfully placed a security threat on me. Yeah, because she's not a security threat. Due to the high-profile case that I'm here on. During the last 4 years, I have had to deal with unfounded reports from inmates and media about escape when I do not have any charges or any evidence to allude to that. There is no conviction, no disciplinary process, or any information that would conclude that other than inmates who wanted personal gain or housing manipulation. No, Letecia, you're the one who does housing manipulation. You were caught time and time again in these jail files. Then you were caught with a plan to escape. They did not charge her with the escape. They charged her within the jail for a disciplinary action like escape. They didn't do like state charges. They could have. And now she's using the fact that she has no charges. She wasn't charged with this incident. So she thinks that means they should just let her do whatever because she's not a threat. I can't get over that. Hey, Meemaw, good evening. Just popping in to cheer everyone on. I'm heading to work, so I'll be listening in the background. Kelly, Meemaw, I hope you have a good day at work. No, she didn't bring the Statue of Liberty in, but she's meaning to write statute like part of a law, but she's missing a T every time. And so she writes statue. And so I said the Statue of Liberty because every time I see it, it never gets old. I'm like, you are such a dumbass. Here we go again with the statue stuff. Kansas DOC entered into a contract with Colorado, knowing that this has continued to happen. In fact, Kansas does not have the security measures via guard shack and security that Colorado has. Therefore, if this was an issue or of any concern, then they should have never accepted the compact, as I cannot control obsessed inmates or media. Now it's about, oh my God. I cannot control obsessed inmates or media. Are you kidding me? By accepting this contract, KDOC was indifferent to the situation and had a plan to violate my constitutional rights, to retaliate on me and impede on my civil liberties. I have exhausted all remedies, asking for my civil liberties to be restored and for the ICC revocation. The deprivations and abuse has brought emotional, physical, and mental injury. And there is an evil motive or intent, reckless indifference to the protected rights. And she says the prison has a culpable state of mind. She also says the Eighth Amendment applies additionally because, oh God, here we go. TCF does not serve food that is nutritious and does not prepare food under clean conditions. 2, sewage leaks from pipes, sinks are often inoperable, and windows leak water and wind of extreme temps. So because there are issues that have to be updated, which they have, we learned that in the Martinez report, like there were some sewage leaks and window things happening. They fixed it. They also said that was never happening in a cell that she actually lived in. Okay. It was happening in other cells. There is not adequate ventilation in rooms. Obvious signs of mold that causes medical issues to include, but not limited to, headaches, breathing issues, stomach dizziness. Vermin enters into some windows. So the mold that's in the rooms that she didn't stay in the other rooms, is she claiming that it's causing her all this headaches, breathing issues? Conditions fall below minimal, civilized, contemporary standard of decency. Clean water is an issue because there isn't a septic system, causing us to breathe the fumes in our rooms, leading to medical issues, to include but not limited to the following. Now, we're done with that exhibit. Let's see how long exhibit 5 is. Wait, let's go back to their answer. So she sent them all of this shit. And this is the response she got back. I'm excited to see what they said. Good God, this was a long letter. Or look, because it's only supposed to be this long. She continued it into her threatening of a lawsuit here. So this is what happened. Let's keep in mind. Letecia gets in trouble, and she's not happy that they won't put her where she wants. She doesn't want to be on maximum security. She thinks for some reason she shouldn't be. So she complains about it. They don't do anything. So then she sends the secretary an appeal that looks like a lawsuit that she's threatening to get her way. Like I don't know. She makes me crazy. I don't understand her. Here's what they had to say back. Jesus, this was a long one. This is what they said back. We received the attached grievance appeal form from the above noted inmate. We noted that there is no evidence that the inmate has sought assistance from staff at the facility regarding this complaint once she put them in writing. She is currently suspended from electronic grievances, so her written forms need a response from staff and the warden to be accepted. So meaning you don't reach out to us until you're not satisfied with the response you get from reaching out to them first. She goes on to say, in compliance, we are forwarding you for response to the inmate. So that one wasn't as, some of their responses have been pretty funny, but we're all the way up on like 69, 70. Here we go. To the grievances to Secretary of Corrections. Now Exhibit 5. Grievance, response on appeal. That's their answer. Let's look at how long this is so we can gauge what we can get through and also have some discussion at the end. Oh, okay. Wait. This is still part of her grievance. She's showing all these. Oh, this will be pretty interesting. Okay, it's not too long. We'll get through what we can and then have some discussion. So she says, second request, KDOC's grievance policy failed once again. Like, what are you? Why does she always have to do all the extra nonsense and bullshit? Oh, thank you, Crochet Lover. I'm so glad. I like doing it. It's really interesting to me. I'm with you. Like, I'm just as interested as you guys, like, and fascinated with her behavior and like the psychology behind her in general and her actions and what she says and does. And she's just next level. I don't know that I've seen people very manipulative and dishonest, sure, but not like this in my real life. But KDOC is ignoring the issues with their grievance procedure. This is the second time that I mailed and appealed. The other was returned saying I didn't go through the process when I did. Yet KDOC will return it even though the prison is past their own deadlines. Bunch of laws and then all the action she's taken. She says these are tactics to stop the grievance process. Oh, my Lord. So then she says, facility is in violation of the grievance process now. This is another example of a grievance that is past the deadline. I reported the retaliation in December. Defendant number 9, number 2, and number 3 were aware that defendant number 4, the PREA coordinator, Valerie Watts, did not respond. Remember, this is not a lawsuit yet. This is, let me see, her response to them. This is not like a filing from her. This is what she sent the secretary of the prison, but she's calling them defendants. When I met with Valerie Watts in person with Miss Golightly, I did mention the retaliation and ask her why she didn't respond to my emails. She said that she printed them. Defendant number 9 was aware of this because I emailed her and asked her to respond to them since Valerie Watts did not. Valerie was aware of the retaliation and cruel and unusual punishment and failed to address it. Once again, Miss Chavez is trying to place the blame on me when I correctly reported the retaliation in December and the staff and prison officials ignored them. I mentioned them again in January 2024. Once again, Watts said that she printed them. After trying for 2 months to get help from Miss Chavez, Miss Hook, and Miss Watts, I decided in February to include this in my civil actions and had no intentions to let Miss Watts continue to violate my rights. Then, in February, I left after she demonstrated once again that she was negligent. She did make a statement to me that said, "At least you are not in seg. I suggest the facility to review the camera video and audio response for the room upstairs, as Miss Watts made it very clear that she was going to impede on my rights." Finally, I am not in the least restrictive environment, and prison policy states that sustained and unsubstained are monitored and are treated the same under this attachment. So she shows that they sent her this. Holly Chavez did. This is one of the things she printed and sent to her. We'll just read the what she said. Let's see. She says they met with you to discuss several points and the regarding retaliation. It was stated to me that during the first point, to which you claimed the DR was used as retaliation, you got upset and removed yourself from the meeting and did not return to finish the discussion. In conclusion, it appears that staff are addressing your concerns for retaliation, and that when provided an opportunity to address it, you did not. You also had the opportunity to address it this month during the retaliation meeting, and you did not address it then either. This grievance does not meet the definition of emergency grievance. So that, again, Letecia refusing to follow the rules and do things, there's a way you have to do things in a place like this. You need to follow the rules. They have a system in place. If you don't do that, you can't complain the system doesn't fucking work. Call me Sadie. Thank you for joining. And MK, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. It's like the same stuff she does over and over again, but it's been interesting to see like her claims written out like this, not what she's claiming in motions in the civil suit, but what she's actually claiming to the officials at the prison, you know? Yeah, tactics, Carol. She's using tactics to get her way. Hey, Amber. All right. We're going to try to get through this in the next few minutes, and I'll bring Jen up at so I have at least 20 minutes to discuss it. Okay. Then she shows the deadline. See, past the deadline. And then escalated, ignored, can go to next step. Remedy denied. Can resident reply? No. So this is a response. Let's see. Did she deny me? Oh, it's Letecia's response to her, where she says, "I've documented forms of retaliation. I've made an informal resolution through Valerie. I cannot continue this through unit team because they are the main retaliators. Whole Vieira discriminated on me for reporting a PREA and told another staff member that I did. Then she denied me a job because of this and passed info to Mr. Wright and another inmate. Now she is writing false DRs on me when I was in the law library one of the days for e-filing, witness, Blankenship, and another day when I was locked in my room for a medical evaluation. The facility says inmates will not get retaliated on for reporting. She says, I'm a victim. I haven't been able to see my attorney. I've sustained a broken finger from staff in the past. My own UTM is retaliating on me and discriminating on me. This should classify as an emergency, because remember, they said this is not an emergency. This should classify as an emergency because UTM has access to my personal files, and I am at a grave risk of danger when they control everything of ours. If they are doing this now, what happens when it results to more physical injury because I reported this as harassment to her prior? She says, due to retaliation, these individuals should not handle my files and stop harassment. Add info to interstate compact revocation. She circles that it shows she escalated a grievance and that there was a mix-up in the system. So there were delinquent grievances that didn't go through, and she's saying that this is like intentional, and this is why she deserves to, have this suit, but also be complaining. Okay, so let's look at their response because we got through this exhibit. Yay. Before we're going to start exhibit 6 tomorrow. They said, findings of fact. The response provided to the inmate by staff at the facility is incorporated herein by reference and made part of this response. On appeal, the inmate offers no evidence or argument that suggests that the response rendered by staff at the facility is wrong. Conclusions made. The response rendered to the inmate by staff is appropriate. Action taken, none further. Okay, so Letecia's ass was mad when she wrote all of this out, and then she gets that short response. Let me send Jen the link. Okay. She should be in solitary confinement like Wade Wilson. Well, you know what? Let's say her crime would have happened just a few years prior to when it did. What if she would have been put on death row? And then don't you have to be like in solitary confinement at that point? Oh, thank you, Daniel. These lunatics, let's see. I don't understand how these lunatics think they're going to change the prison system to work in their favor. The prison has been prisoning since forever. Your BS ain't going to change anything. I don't think she even knows what she's trying to pull. Oh, let's see what Grain said. Hey, Grain. Okay, so this is what she's doing. She's in a lawsuit right now against a prison, and she's claiming that she's been, she's had exposure to all of this dangerous stuff, that she's being put with violent offenders, and she shouldn't be. Should have more freedom. She wants to go back to Colorado, and she's got all these claims against different people at the jail, some very serious, like sexual harassment and assault, and then some not so serious, one a broken finger. And she says she has a whole list of all these, rights that they violated of hers. And she's asking to be sent back to Colorado. She's trying to get her way, but she does this all the time. We saw in the jail files, like, for instance, when she threw that water on her inmate, on the roommate. Let me go over to that and see if I can get it. So she wanted to be moved at one point, and they weren't listening. So she takes a cup and scoops water out of the toilet and throws it on another inmate. This way she could get moved because she didn't want to be with that inmate. And it worked. The thing is, it actually worked. So that just makes her do that kind of shit more. Let's see. I sent Jen the link because I want to let her up. She's been reading through a lot of this with us. And see if she has any thoughts. But I'm also going to find where she manipulated housing before. Let's see. See, I'm searching the word toilet, which has been used more than I would think, but because she's taken apart all kinds of stuff in her cell. She has been busted multiple times for trying to escape or manipulate like her room and things around her. But she's mad that she's not getting more freedom. This is what it is. This woman has spent her entire life throwing little bitch fits every time she doesn't get her way, manipulating people, being dishonest. And usually because she throws these fits, like the threats we've seen in what we've been reading in this motion, threatening lawsuits and stuff, usually she gets her way by acting like that, because not that people believe her or whatever. I think people just probably haven't wanted to deal with her. So I think now she's like not able to get her way and she can't take it. She doesn't know how to act. So she's just doing anything and everything. It's crazy. Let's see. This is not the one. There's Bendy. Hello, Jen.
Hey, babe. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Is my audio okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, just checking. All right. Whew.
It's just been interesting reading, like, okay, so we've been going through this lawsuit since the beginning. This is the first time we're actually seeing everything that she said to staff and all the reports that she filed in order with their responses.
Oh, dear.
So it's like some claims that we've heard before, but written in a completely different way. Like,
gotcha.
And also you'll see, like, there have been exhibits that they've shown where she's literally notebook paper written it out as if it is a real lawsuit and says, this isn't a motion. This isn't something I'm doing, but if I do want to file a lawsuit, this is how I would do it. Like, she's threatening them to get her way. She's asking to be moved. She doesn't want to be with violent people. I'm going to get us back to that. I'll find the toilet water incident. I've showed it before, but just know she manipulates housing.
Search milk carton.
Ooh, okay.
Because,
Yeah. Okay. Let me do that.
I'm so grossed out by my own self that I actually remember that.
Okay, so look right here. This is long before she ever had a lawsuit. She writes case number to be determined. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then down at the bottom, she says, like, look, this is for documentation purposes for control office to exhaust the final remedy before filing an actual complaint. But she wrote, like, she's doing all kinds of tactics trying to get her way. It's been insane.
Like, they're going to be, first, Letecia, they classified you illiterate. Let's start there.
Yes.
You've sued El Paso County. Didn't work. Now you're over here representing yourself again as the fool again. Just try. I mean, they're not going to cave to you. Do you think that you're the first litigious inmate that they've ever come across in all of their years of prisoning? No, of course not. Idiot. She does think she's going to get her own way, though. It won't work, Letecia. It won't work.
Like, why does she think that she's not violent?
Because I think she knows she's violent. What she is, remember, she's still appealing now. She's appealing her conviction. It's not going to be successful, but she's got to maintain her innocence. So she's arguing, hey, okay, look, what had happened was a huge mistake was made. I'm not supposed to be here. It's not me that's violent. It's Maria Sanchez. And she and I have agreed that she needs to go away for a while. Okay. So we're both here in prison, but the main personality being Letecia, and all my other alters are not violent. It's just Maria. Just Maria. We don't need to be. She's an idiot. She's ridiculous. It's not going to work. Worse, this is what's going to end up happening. Okay. She may push them to the point where they're like, okay, we can't take her. But Letecia, are you aware that Colorado has interstate compacts with other prisons, specifically Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah.
You want to be in Wisconsin?
Somewhere else. Yeah.
I'll just move you. You're not coming back to Colorado. You're not coming back to Colorado because that's where your crime occurred. It's a high profile crime and you're a freaking risk and they don't want to take it. So they're going to move you. You're not going back to Colorado. You don't even want to be in Colorado. If she goes back to Colorado, she'll throw a temper tantrum there because at the end of the day, it's not the freaking Ramada, puta. It is prison.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. Oh, another thing that's in here, Jen. Oh my God. So we clearly, and I showed this yesterday and today, we clearly have seen, I'll just keep it muted and talk while I say that she has tried to escape. But listen to what she's doing.
Look what she does.
I know, but
This
listen.
face that she's making here, this is how it hurts to get out of handcuffs. It's not, it's not an easy process. And she's trying to not look at her.
Oh, yeah. We talked about like her head roll and everything like
yes.
yesterday.
And look at her hair.
What she's doing though, this is the thing. We have this, right? And then I did have up the other escape where she drew the window and literally said, some of this is in code. I think I'm like,
oh my God. Now, I told you that she was just measuring for curtains. Allie, that's just mean.
No, but listen to what she did. So she was not, remember, she wasn't convicted for this incident here. They didn't charge her in Kansas.
Well, they dropped the charges.
Right. She wasn't convicted. She wasn't taken to court, whatever. I don't even know if they actually did charge her. I can't remember, but
she was. They agreed to drop the charges after she received the guilty plea. I remember that. Okay. And I remember thinking,
and
wow.
Well, hold on. And they also didn't charge her with the escape in jail. And I remember that one for sure. They charged her within the jail. Remember we talked about that? It was like a in-house disciplinary charge, not a legal charge.
Correct.
So in this paperwork, she's saying, I have a history of trying to escape or being violent. She says it like 2 or 3 times. I have never been charged with attempted escape. She said, I have never been caught with maps or tools.
Oh, Jesus. The tool, the broom. Letecia.
That's what I said. Exactly. And the map. I mean, no, it's not a map, but you did draw the window. But no, I'm sorry.
Fucking idiot. I mean, why would you? I'm glad you did it. But here's the thing, Letecia. All that stuff travels with you. So when it happened in El Paso County, it went with you to when initially you were in a Colorado prison. And then it went with you again when they transferred you to Topeka in Kansas. So those things follow you, you idiot. And let's not forget what you're convicted of. You are a convicted child killer. You are violent. I don't give a rat's fat kneecap what you say, or Maria, or Little Tay, or Tisha X, or any of your alters say. You are violent. Period.
Incredibly violent. That's what I said. Thank you. Because you
shut up, Tisha.
Just make me feel like, yes, you're right, Alex, because I think the same exact thing. Now, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was trying to get you to follow my point about the map and all that shit. No, that's okay. No, but now you can explain what you think about this video in full without me trying to stop you and be like, hold on, wait. What were you saying about her like face and stuff?
First of all, it's like she woke up and chose violence. Here she is looking around, them beady old eyes. You know why that possum freaked you out, Allie? Because look at Leticia's eyes and then go look at that possum's eyes in that picture you sent me. Same.
Ooh.
Beady, dark. Look at her doing the neck roll.
Yeah.
Hair so damn greasy. Only one chunk of it moves.
Disgusting.
Look at her.
She's insubordinate and
there she goes. And childish. She insubordinate and childish. Here she goes. Bam.
I mean, how are you not violent? How can you even write that shit? And it's not like it wasn't what we've been reading, like aren't motions. This is her direct communication with like the secretary. So they don't move you and you like the shit she says. Let me draw you a comparison chart. She's done about 3 of those in this.
Nobody wants to see your fucking charts, Tisha. Okay. Nobody wants to see your charts. I mean, I kind of want to see them, but I ain't believing them.
I want to see them, but I'm not going to believe them. That's me. It's like interesting because I don't know why. It's interesting
because the level of denial that she is she won't give she will not give an inch. And then she talks about religion all the time. It's
Well, do you
very, very important to her. Listen, I'm not going to, religion is religion, but I know that the foundation of all the religions is basically don't be a dick. I'm pretty sure none of the religions are okay with murder. I'm pretty sure that's bad in every religion's book. And when you do wrong, you have to take responsibility. Tisha, you've done none of that. So I don't give a rat's fat kneecap what God you pray to. You're
have
still
you
fucked.
have you ever met someone like her in your real life?
No,
Me
no,
neither. That's what I was
no.
saying. And Travis, I know, me too. I thought that when it first came out, and it's
Yeah.
a sad and scary thought. It's horrifying.
That's
Um,
why I have to make jokes, because if I don't
yeah,
use some humor, I can't,
it's hard. Yeah, you
I
can't
can't move
handle
through
it.
it.
But here's the thing: when Jen and I have talked about the lawsuit, or I've talked about it sometimes on my own, but either way, we always try to keep it separate, and the phone calls separate
Yes,
from the crime. Not that, of course, we can make comments like this and connect things back, but for the most part, just like out of respect for Gannon, because he deserves to not be attached to this monstrous bitch the rest of his life. I mean,
correct.
the
Like
rest of forever. I'm sorry.
exactly, exactly. And God, she's gross.
Crime Horse, she was in the yesterday what we read talking about how she was Jewish for some point in time, and they were being what is that word?
Anti-Semitic.
Yes, anti-Semitic towards her. She was saying
Of
that
course they
yesterday.
were. Of
Mhm.
course they were. Letitia, get
Okay,
bent.
so let me ask you while I have you here, because I'm going
Okay,
to end this in about
I know.
less
I'm
than 10
watching the
minutes.
time.
Me too.
For
But
you, because I moved my life to tomorrow morning. I'm tired. I've worked on this
I'm not
video
even
all
that much.
day. Yeah, I was supposed to do Slender Man this morning, and I started putting like the finishing touches on this one video that I'm working for Todd Mullis, just wrapping it all up together. And so I was like, well, I'll work on this today, and then I'll go live tonight. So I worked on it today. Then I went to the store with Chicky Nuggy Pot Pie Esquire. And I don't know if you've ever been to the grocery store with a 4-year-old, but it will wear you the heck out. And I'm plumb wore out. I can't sit for 3 hours and talk about Dr. Caldwell's testimony tonight. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm tired. So I'm just going to get up and do it in the morning. We'll be back on our schedule. Well, that's not true. I can't do it. I have to change it because what's her name? Donna Adelson does have a hearing in the morning.
Oh, are
And
you going to
it's
cover that?
of course. And I was wrong. I misspoke yesterday. She does not, she wants that, she wants Dan and Wendy's divorce paperwork suppressed, but it's the motive behind the crime. So I doubt she's going to be successful. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but that's what's going on. So I'm sorry, you
Okay.
guys. I got totally off in the weeds, but I'm tired.
No, that's okay. I understand. I don't know too much about that case. So besides what I've seen from you, but regardless, here, let me drop Jen's link in case you guys are following along so you can be in there for the hearing tomorrow. I was going to ask you and then read Scott's comment. I can't wait for us to get these damn body cams. Like,
I know. I know.
I'm behind on emails. I need to
It
check.
should be any day now. No, babe. I keep that. I check it frequently, and I have I made sure that like I get push notifications for the Gmail, just because I'm looking out for both of us, because I know
Awesome. Okay.
during the
Yeah, I
day
do
and
not get
stuff. Yeah.
notifications. I usually am really good about watching, but the last couple of days I'm not. It's been a little bit chaotic here, but regarding Scott's comment, what do you think about this? Because I'm sorry, they should have never, she should have been charged. It does he says that conviction carries its own repercussions as a convict. We wouldn't be having her using that in this filing. I've never been convicted, blah, blah, blah. Why did they do that? I understand that, you're already in there for life, but I don't think that's good enough reason.
Well, okay. So from Colorado's perspective, this investigation was incredibly expensive. and you saw how, and it costs, and she was a, it's not like she had private counsel. She was the taxpayers of Colorado paid for it, and they paid a lot because of all the times that she delayed and all the things that she did. And so I think their thinking was, the prison, they can suss it out themselves. There's a lot of people who've been charged with things, and you can follow the situation. They didn't drop the charges because they couldn't prosecute her. They didn't have enough to prosecute her with. They dropped it only after she was convicted of first degree murder. So the prison is well aware of that. And the court will be too. Should the court even decide to entertain this, it's the same thing with Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone pulled the same thing. George dropped the charges against her in one of the incidents. And so she was arguing that she's not violent. And the bailiff sat right there and looked her dead in her face and said, just because you didn't get a conviction doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that is how they look at it. It's not gonna, she can fix her mouth to say whatever she wants, but they're not, that doesn't mean they're going to take it.
That's what this whole filing is even about, because I've been surprised they've carried it on this long. When we were going through it a couple of months ago, I was expecting, we were getting to the end and it was like, nope, we're not going to let this go on. We're not going to let this go on. And then they allowed her to move forward with certain claims. And I was shocked. Like we were like, what the hell? Why?
I think it might have to do with the PREA. I really do. I think they're being particularly cautious.
Hold on, let me finish my point.
I'm sorry, babe.
That is what this whole entire filing is. It's them saying, look, this is why you need to throw those final things out, because she didn't even follow the way it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? Here's X, Y, and Z. So maybe they will, because that's what this motion is. So maybe the judge will read it, actually take a look, and it will be thrown out. But no, I'm with you 100%. Not to bounce around on this topic, but yeah,
I think they're covering their asses for the PREA situation.
Yes, I agree, because it's serious.
It is serious. It is serious. But then, Letecia has a habit of saying too much at the worst time, and leaving a paper trail. And so even with that PREA situation that she's got going, there are other things that are out there in the universe of comments that she's made about situations that might come back to bite her directly in her stank ass. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yep. She's got a long history of making a lot of accusations.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, this is where she threw the poop water on. I did find it, but it's just inmate Stauch throws feces water at inmate. So again, she's talking in these filings about them trying to manipulate housing. That's exactly what she's doing here. Says that the officer walked up, observes her punching the glass. They asked her to stop. She was yelling in anger at her cellmate, said that they had been leaving trash all over the cell. Stauch was pacing in her cell back and forth, telling me she had talked to the deputy and she was very angry, but she had been explained to they couldn't change the housing. I told Stauch she needed to calm down. Deputy Bird walked over to the door with inmate Stauch, and she said Stauch said if she wasn't moved there, it was a possibility that she was going to punch the other person. The deputy explained to her that she would be charged with assault if she continued with the verbal threat. Letecia said,
excuse me, pardon me, is that not, is threatening to punch somebody, is that not violent? Okay, just checking.
There you go. Exactly. Excellent point. So, they have records of this shit, of her behavior, doing violent shit, and throwing feces water is violent too, right? Because
that's a different kind of assault. It is. Yes.
Okay. So it says the deputy and I walked away from the cell. I continued to listen to Letecia talking to the other inmate, telling her she was going to hurt her. I walked back and observed Stauch filling up a milk carton that she has gotten from one of the meal passes with
Jesus
feces water
Christ.
from the toilet and observed her throwing it on that inmate. The inmate was on her bunk and covered her body with a safety blanket, but her face was not covered. So when Letecia threw the feces water, I observed the liquids touching her face and hair. But look here, she was rehoused. She got her
Hey,
damn.
but wait, Allie, see how for her right hand that was bruised, isn't it her right hand that she's upset about? Or
Yes,
is
but
it?
this was in Colorado. But
No, but I mean, when she filed her new lawsuit, isn't it that
yes,
same hand that's injured?
yes, it is her
Uh-huh.
right hand.
Yeah, maybe that's why, Letitia.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe
but
it's
by the
not
way, I mean, I don't know what finger it is of yours that's, you know, you don't have that's numb or whatever, but you got 9 other fingers. Calm down.
yeah, you've still got 9 more. It's all right.
You'll be all
Um,
right.
Michelle, she is not in Colorado. She's asking to go back to Colorado, but okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go, but thank you so much for being here.
Oh,
I
you're
like
welcome.
doing like the hour-long lives too. Like sometimes I think it's better to keep it short and just like I want to try to sometimes, like I love the discussion lives too, but sometimes when it's like informational, try to just get that out there and then have discussions or just keep it short sometimes because it's easier on all of us.
Why
Um,
the hell would you invite me up if you want to keep it short? Of all the people.
because I need your thoughts because you followed this, like you know so much about it too, and you've followed it pretty much all along the way. So I need to hear your
I
thoughts.
have. I just need to be better about keeping it short. It's just
You,
she just is so outlandish in the stuff that she says,
I
you
know.
know?
Yeah.
And when you are
What?
representing yourself, right? You you are signing that all the claims that you're making are made in good faith. And none of she is so full of shit. You know, none
Yeah.
of this, she knows damn right well that none of this stuff, most of this stuff. I can't call the Priya situation her assault, so I'm not going to comment on that one. But all the other things, she knows damn right well that is not what happened, and that's not how it happened. And so she's, I hit my mic. She's just, a mess.
Yeah. She is. Wait a minute. Okay, so they're saying that she might be back in Colorado. I don't believe that's true, but I do still have the app. I think I can see. I haven't been on there for a while, but maybe I can tell us for certain, and then we can go. But let's see. Hold on. Alex. I googled it and didn't see anything. Let's see. At Gmail. Okay. Also, I am.
Everything that I'm getting,
Mhm.
is all hold on a minute. All the things that I'm getting are her. She's in whatchamacallit. She's still in Kansas.
Yep, I'm looking at her right now on the app, and she is in Topeka Correctional Facility. Yeah, so she's still there. She's offline. I haven't been on here for a long time, but it says that I guess Adam was moved, so it says released, and it says Brian Koberger released. I know he's not been, but I wonder why that status changed there. But
Probably because when they move him to different, because I think, didn't they move his aren't they moving his trial? Didn't he get the what do you call that? God, I'm tired, you guys. I'm so sorry.
yes, they did.
Change
Oh,
of
you're right.
venue.
He was moved to Ada County. You're 100% right. Okay, I bet you that is why. And okay, I'm going to end this. You guys, thank you for being here. I am right now trying to put the redirect on Melissa's video. I don't see it. I only see her live for tomorrow. So
Let me look. Hold on. Let me look.
okay.
I'll look for you. Hold on.
Thank you.
Because I do love to show, Melissa does make me. Hey, when are you two getting back? Did you get it?
Yep,
When are
tomorrow.
you two getting back to it? Okay, tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow and Wednesday this week. So I hope to see you guys there on her channel tomorrow, mine Wednesday. Bendy, I'll talk to you in this end. So stay here with me for a second. And then you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Please come over with me to support Melissa on her Members Only Monday. Looks like it's going to be some Wade stuff. You don't even have to do anything. It'll just teleport you right over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Just sit back, relax. Allie's done the hard work.
Yeah. And then soon in the next coming days, we'll finish and get back into the next exhibit and try to finish this lawsuit out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here.
And don't forget, we still have more stuff in Stern calls to make everybody irate. So we'll be
wait.
doing that too.
Yes, that's what I want to talk to you after. And please check out Jen's channel as well. It's being dropped in the chat. All right, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you over at Melissa's. Bye.
Bye.